Hey guys, it's Owen from Wrestling Inc. back with another wrestling news roundup. Without any further ado, let's get into today's biggest stories in the world of professional wrestling. Title change on last night's AEW Dynamite. The main event of last night's AEW Dynamite saw the TNT Championship switch hands yet again when Sammy Guevara lost the ladder match for the TNT title against his challenger Scorpio Sky. Sammy and Scorpio Sky have been feuding since Sky first defeated Sammy for the TNT title back on the March 9 episode of AEW Dynamite. Sammy won the TNT title back on the April 15 Battle of the Belts 2 taping, and now the title has changed hands yet again. After the high-flying match came to a conclusion, Scorpio Sky's former teammate Frankie Kazarian came down to the ring. Last week, he and Sky had a conversation that if he stayed out of the title picture and let Scorpio Sky have one more shot at Sammy, then he wanted the next title shot. The two men acknowledged one another respectfully after last night's TNT title match and looked to be heading towards a match in the future. It's also likely we will see the rivalry between American Top Team and Sammy Guevara with Ty Conti continue in the coming weeks. It was agreed on a recent Dynamite that Sky and Paige Van Zant will have a mixed gender tag team match against Guevara and Tay Conti in the future. Several WWE superstars reportedly missed shows due to COVID-19. Several WWE superstars have been missing shows recently due to COVID-19, according to Dave Meltzer on the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio. Although no names specifically mentioned regarding who has tested positive for the virus, at least a couple of wrestlers have been affected. The company hasn't made any announcements about any WWE superstars contracting COVID-19, and no wrestlers have come out publicly either. WWE isn't actively testing its WWE superstars anymore for COVID-19, with the virus slowing down, but talent is obviously still checking themselves when they begin to have symptoms. The company is keeping wrestlers off the shows when they do test positive in order to minimize the spread. It was revealed prior to AEW Dynamite that AEW World Champion Hangman Page has tested positive for COVID-19. He was not part of the show this week, and the company reportedly had to do a lot of rewriting because of that situation. Despite not being in attendance, it did get announced that he will be facing CM Punk for the title at Double or Nothing. Talk of COVID-19 had slowed down for a while in professional wrestling until recently. At the start of the year, Carmella told the Bear With Us podcast about her experience with the virus. Quote, "You guys, I got the vid. I did. It got me. I got COVID. I got. About what, a week and a half ago? No, 2 weeks ago," Carmella said. "I woke up super just not feeling well, just really tired and run down. I took some tests and I was positive. And then, it was kind of like a cold. It was a little bit worse than a cold. I was down and out for like 3 days or 4 days, just not really doing much, but on the up and up, feeling better now." However, my lovely fiance over here was just bragging about his immune system and how amazing he is. It's not going to get him, and it's true because he had to test because he was around me. Yeah, we were making out like animals the night before. I tested positive when I was sick, so I don't know how you didn't get it. Former WWE star teased for next week's AEW Dynamite. MJF has teased the arrival of former WWE and Impact Wrestling star W. Morrissey, formerly known as Big Cass, on next week's AEW Dynamite edition on TBS. On last night's Dynamite, MJF looked calm and collected after his bitter rival Wardlow put away Lance Archer in a singles bout. In a backstage interview after the match, MJF explained why Wardlow's win didn't bother him. Quote, "The reason I'm calm is because I've got a plan," MJF said, "and it's a damn good one." At this point, MJF placed a phone call to a certain someone. Quote, "Hey big man, question. How would you feel about making 6 figures for one match? Alright?" MJF was heard saying on the call. The leader of the Pinnacle then described Wardlow's opponent for next week. Quote, "Wardlow, next week you're going up against a man who's smarter than you, stronger than you, and who's taller than you." MJF ended the segment by saying, quote, "And you can't teach that." The fans in the arena seemed to figure out who he was talking about. There were reports last November about W. Morrissey's contract with Impact Wrestling expiring. It's possible that he continued to work with the company on a handshake per date deal. The big man was last seen in action at the recent Rebellion pay-per-view, where he was part of the Tag Team Gauntlet for the Impact World Tag Team Championships. AEW star makes surprise return on Dynamite. Rey Fenix made his return to AEW Dynamite on last night's show, appearing to help Penta Oscuro and Pac fight off the House of Black. As we've noted, Fenix suffered an arm injury during the January 5 AEW Dynamite main event from a chokeslam off the ring apron through a table. Fenix later confirmed that he did not suffer any broken bones despite how severe the injury appeared at the time. It was rumoured in mid-February that Fenix was about a month away from a return, but as March came and passed, there was no sign of a definite return date. Earlier this month, Fenix vowed that he would be back in time for the AAA Triplemania 30 event this weekend, which appears to be true. For weeks, Death Triangle and the House of Black have been feuding against one another. In his absence, Fenix's Death Triangle teammates Penta and Pac tagged with Eric Redbeard at the AEW Revolution buy-in pre-show, but ended up losing that match. AEW Dynamite reportedly heavily rewritten following Hangman Page COVID diagnosis. As noted, AEW World Champion Hangman Page announced yesterday morning that he would not be attending AEW Dynamite after falling ill with COVID-19. As fans would expect, this has caused some creative shifting backstage before last night's episode of Dynamite went on the air. Earlier tonight on social media, F4W Online's Dave Meltzer confirmed that was indeed the case. Quote, "Tonight's AEW show was heavily rewritten due to Page getting COVID," he wrote online. AEW announced on last night's show that the world title match between Hangman Page and number one contender CM Punk is official for next month's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. Instead of some angle leading to the official announcement, it was first announced after CM Punk wrapped up as a guest commentator for the Owen Hart Cup qualifying match between FTR members Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. Punk then grabbed a microphone and made a brief statement on the match's announcement. Quote, "Double or Nothing is in Las Vegas, Nevada," Punk said about the upcoming title match, "and I've never been a gambling man, but Hangman, listen to me. I will always bet on myself, win, lose or draw, Double or Nothing. You will know that you have been in a fight with CM Punk, and I will continue to fight until the wheels fall off." So what are your thoughts on today's Wrestling News Roundup? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe to Wrestling Inc. and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.